Welcome to Practical Data Science. I'm Steve, your Chief Data Enthusiast, and you've joined me today in my series on using Excel for simple data science. In this video, I'll be demonstrating how to use Excel to create a simple pivot table. Through this video, you will gain an understanding of pivot tables in Excel, learn how to create your own pivot table, learn how to drag fields into a pivot table shell. Pivot tables can help you make sense of your tabular data. While you are most likely used to creating numerical models, Excel also allows you to record data in a list format. For instance, it could be a list of daily sales, songs in your music collection, or a list of petty cash purchases over the last 3 months. Trying to make sense of the data in a small list is straightforward, but when your list extends to many dozens, hundreds, or even thousands of rows of information, trying to manually analyze the data and extract useful information can be tedious. Pivot tables makes your tasks easier. For this example, I'll be using the Titanic dataset that can be found via Kaggle.com. A link to the Kaggle dataset can be found in the description below, or alternatively, I'll also provide a link to an Excel spreadsheet that will be ready for you to use. Let's begin. Click on the Insert tab, then click on the Pivot Table in the Tables group to display the Create Pivot Table dialog box. This dialog box is used to specify the data list and also where to place the pivot table. Ensure the Select Table or Range and New Worksheet are both selected. And then click on OK to create a new sheet with a pivot table. You will now have a new tab with a blank pivot table shell to work with. The structure of a pivot table is made up of fields. The fields available for use are presented to you in the Pivot Table Fields pane, which appears when a pivot table is created. The structure of the pivot table is created by dragging the fields you want to use into special areas located at the bottom of the Pivot Table Fields pane. Let's try an example. In the Pivot Table Fields pane, point to the sex field. So the cursor changes to a 4-head arrow. Click and hold down the left mouse button. Drag the sex field into the rows area of the pane, then release the mouse button. The sex field will now appear as rows in the pivot table structure. Now point to the survived field. Click and hold down the left mouse button, drag the survived field to the columns area of the pane, and release the mouse button. Lastly, point to the passenger ID field. Click and hold down the left mouse button, drag the passenger ID field into the values pane, then release the mouse button. You will notice that the value is based on the sum of passenger ID. We want to change this to be the count of passenger ID. Click on the downward arrow next to the sum of passenger ID. This will activate a menu pop-up. From the menu, select Value Field Settings. This will display a dialog box. On the Summarize Values tab, select the Count option, and then click on the OK button. You should now see a simple pivot table that displays how many passengers survived by their sex. This concludes the video on how to create a pivot table using Excel. For more videos like this, subscribe to the Practical Data Science channel. This is your Chief Data Enthusiast, signing off.